the program by you go send a comment or text message to the number 077981981 or if you go na Where the Democracy Facebook page. The program now made a show it come to you from the Society for Where the Democracy 98.1 FM. We're now at time for make we look at first issue na the program. The marketing manager for Wazabet might Tumani Fani say then company na one way they help for promoting and capital development, do the job when they give to young people them and capacity building but digital skill them so that then go able create job for themselves. My Tumani Fani talk this inside with Ready Democracy when they talk about the role way Wazabet don't play for push developments na salon. Then people here talk more to Sonia Bell.
Was on the new betting platform we run Kana Salon for help each and every Sierra Leoneans there.
So this was an initial or?
No, now we named that WAZAA and we website at www.waza.sl.
Okay, so how Wazabet they contribute to human capital development?
Now we youth there now we fusion our country and Waza they invest in we youth there. If we empower them now, we could build a very strong nation. Wazabet creates opportunity for young people them through work in customer service, marketing, and digital businesses. That means say that they go learn skills that we will help them from grow, how to communicate, how to use technology, and how to run their own businesses. And not even stop there. Look the Waza influencers there. Instead of we bring foreign faces there, Waza choose for use we own Sierra Leonean youths there, comedians, bloggers, radio presenters, creatives, content creators there, the locals there. Them not just feature them, we actually really invest in them. That's a clear message says talent they salon, we get value and we get the right here so now we backyard.
So actually you're not investing the youth there in what way?
Through we affiliate program, anybody can be a partner with Waza. We refer customers there and commission from them there. You don't need big money for start. Not just your phone, your contact list, your own people there, and your hustle spirit. This kind of opportunity also they help young people that make income, support their families there, and build their own small businesses there. And then also, Waza they put Salon name na the global map through sponsorship they like the Budapest Freetown Rally with the Ministry of Tourism and other NDAs there. So that we youth them will get all the exposure to international platforms there and opportunity there. When we youth them get skills plus income, we community them will strong. When we community them strong, salon go grow. Now so we build human capital right here so that we country salon.
How was the help for promote responsible bets in a salon?
First off, we platform for anybody join the platform we get for day above 18 years. So they make sure say nobody will they below the age of 18 or the platform. And then if you the listen right now want for joining the platform, just go to www.waza.sl, WAZAA.sl.
Alright, so once you want to know also how Wazabet they do the betting? Which kind of betting Wazabet they into?
Okay, so right now we online platform, the www.waza.sl. We do sports and casino. We get the largest archive of casino games in the country, over 10,000 games from 70 different providers there.
Okay, so how long Wazabet don't they exist for?
Waza done in operation for the last couple of months, let's say about 3 months. We just take on the market. Everybody can clearly see the amount of impact we make.
Like whose impact so we did talk about?
Some of the impact we Waza done they make in the community since we come. We can take first the housemates. For the first in our salon, we get the first runner up, they go home with something. We give Aminish, who's our ambassador right now, a $25,000 motor car. We don't they invest in community events, promotions there and collaborations there. We partner and sponsor with the Ministry of Tourism for the Budapest Freetown Rally 2026. We've also been part of local football activities there and sponsoring television and TV series. And then not just that, we create jobs there for influencers there, content creators there, and even radio presenters like yourself. And this is not just the tip of the iceberg. There is a whole lot more we get in store, we the push right now for do in terms of capacity building for each and every youth out there.
Okay, so finally, What's going to be your message for listeners then?
Okay, if you're out there, you're listening to me, go on at www.waza.sl. Immediately you join, you register on our platform, you get 100% cash back on your first loss of up to 600 new leons. We get weekly promotions there. We get bet insurance, accumulator, Monday cashbacks of your average stake. We by far get the best odds there on spots. Danny, I can beat me chest any side.
All right.
So come join me in Waza. Waza, Naya you win. And Waza not to just any betting company. Because even when you lost na Waza, we still live and wait for you win. If you bet with Waza and you lost your ticket, we give what we call Waza coin. You get up to 10 Waza coins. You get opportunity for get 100% cash back, cash returns, promotional items. Waza is not just a betting platform, and that they make we uniquely stand out from we competitors there. We are also investing in we community, we invest in we youth there. Because Waza, yeah, you the win.
The program now media show it comes to you live from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM. And inside the program, we expect to get Edward Momodu Sise in at the head of programs na Conservation Society of Salone. As today in the camp talk about the role of forest in climate change mitigation. Well, we still wait for another program. We will continue for look at more issues. The ambassador at the Embassy of Japan, Hiroshi Yoshimoto, say the embassy give over $86,000 for support the digital economic growth and opportunity for youth empowerment project where UNOPS they do for give sabi to youth man them na salon through different skill where will make them get better work and self-reduce the youth unemployment na salon. The reporter Fatunyan Jigi Baba gets more in Guna reports.
The United Nations Office for Project Services na international body wey for long term now don dey help Salone government for support projects them where they give strength to different sector them like energy, youth employment, capacity building, and the same way help for develop rural community them. And as way for continue this, make inside 2021, the organization implement one project when enhancing the impact of rural renewable energy in Sierra Leone. And when they hand over this project to the Ministry of Energy, the officer in charge at the United Nations Office for Project Services, Natalia Garcia, talk more about this project.
When UNOPS started this project, the goal was clear and ambitious, which was to move beyond simply installing solar panels to igniting a fundamental shift in how rural Sierra Leoneans live, learn, and do business. The results we see today are a testament to what can be achieved through partnerships. Under this initiative, UNOPS, in close coordination with the Ministry of Energy, has successfully expanded the solar mini-grid system footprint by constructing grid network distribution and installing 6 solar mini-grids in 6 communities in both districts. We have moved the needle on Sustainable Development Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. And in doing so, we are catalyzing progress in access to clean energy. As UNOPS prepare to hand over the baton to the Ministry of Energy, our primary focus is on the sustainability of these investments.
The Deputy Minister of Energy too, Dr. Abdoulaye Jallow, talk more about what these projects mean to the energy sector and serve the community them where they implement this project.
Today, it is remarkable to see the completion of these 6 solar PV plants. These mini-grids will transform the lives of over 15,000 people across the 6 communities in both districts. This project is not just about infrastructure. It is about human capital development. By providing reliable, renewable, and sustainable energy, we are transforming public services by ensuring that local health clinics and schools no longer have to operate in the dark. It will drive economic growth and drive small businesses to extend their hours. It will also increase productivity and reduce dependence on high-polluting fossil fuels in line with our national climate change goals. The successful completion of these mini-grids directly supports the Ministry of Energy's Mission 300 and our MCC National Energy Compact, which aim to increase electricity access across the country from its present rate of 36% to 70% by 2030.
After we UNOPS don't hand over this energy project to the Ministry of Energy, the organization same way come with other projects when are accelerating digital growth and opportunity for youth empowerment. With all this, Now we for give sabi to young people through different skill them and contribute to the country in develop one. We in the talk about this project and the couple support where the Japan government will give for let them carry on with this project. The ambassador for the Embassy of Japan to Ghana and Salon, Hiroshi Yoshimoto, been get this for say.
The project will receive a grant amount of $186,666. Under this project, 600 youth will be trained in ICT skills, digital transformation, and entrepreneurship. At least 5 secondary schools equipped with advanced ICT labs and number of e-learning platforms will be rolled out as well.
Hiroshi Yoshimoto continue for talk about why important for let the government and other body them for join hand and give sabi to youth man them na salon.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people are the world's largest resource in development. When we give them the right opportunities, they can transform their own lives and contribute meaningfully to their community. At the same time, when young people struggle to find opportunities, its effect can be felt in many ways. This is why it is important that we take steps to equip them with the relevant skills to make them more productive.
The Deputy Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education too, Emily Gogra, talk about what in this development will bring at the education sector.
The Japanese government has helped us build our girls. With this digital learning, it will also help them and give confidence to the community. With this contribution, we are really grateful and we look forward to our schools receiving this help. And in due time, we know what the Japanese government can do because we have been in collaboration with what I stated before, the Quaker, and also this, the strengthening of the capacity of our staff in the ministry.
Emily Gogra end up say the ministry will continue for joining with other body them for give strength to education sector na salon. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Fatu Nyangi the report.
Media show they continue and inside the program Mama for welcome studio guest winner Edward Momodu Sise in the head of programs na Conservation Society of Salon as today in the also for talk about the role of forest in climate change mitigation and self look at the responsibility of government and community. With that I want to say good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Yes, good afternoon everybody. This is Edward Sise, Conservation Society of Sierra Leone, Head of Programs.
Okay, so before we can look at the topic where we look at the way the role of forests in climate change mitigation, let's start for talk about, tell me about Fambulem, about Conservation Society of Salon.
Conservation Society of Sierra Leone is one of the oldest conservation organizations within the country. We are a BirdLife partner, BirdLife International, and we have a major partner in the UK who call the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. They are our main support, actually working with them over the years for a very long time, even up to the time of Conservation Society was established. And they are the ones we are working with, along with government also, to do most of the work that we do, supporting us in many ways that we can continue our work in this in various landscapes.
So you talk about, say, Conservation Society now one of the oldest organization them. So let's look at the role way una don dey play in terms of for the role way una don dey play for make sure say una able for in terms of climate change mitigation at the country.
Yes, as I say, we have a partner who we have been working with, major support, but alongside we have got many projects over the years that we have implemented that really support conservation of forests and forest resources within the country.
So projects like what?
Let's say, for instance, like the community landscape management to reduce deforestation and biodiversity loss in the Gola transboundary. That's one of our key mark, and our partner has really supported us to continue to stay in that landscape even without funding. But we also look for fund where through the Wabilek project, in fact, Wabilek project. We continue to work with them, and we have worked with those communities to actually look at how we can work with communities to look to manage their their community forests, for instance. We have established community forests in those landscapes, and communities are really taking care of the landscape and the natural resources. That is why we are always referring to the Gola Forest as one of the best conserved ecosystem of forests in the country. If you look at government, if you contact government, this is what they always refer to. Any other institution, when you conduct any research, you will know that that landscape has been very much protected. But apart from that, we also have worked in the, with projects in the Cambo Hills. For instance, we have the conservation of the security, securing the future of Gola Forest, securing the future of Gola Forest, and we have worked through the support of EU Biopama. That EU Biopama project also helped us to establish community forests, to work with communities to ensure that their forests continue to stay and managed, even though with many challenges, because few projects just coming in within a year cannot suffice. We need more support, we need continuity in terms of working with those communities to realize the benefits that they can get from forests and the resources that they have. You know, these are the kind of things that we do. We have also been able to, over the years, we have worked on community empowerment for sustainable forest and wetland management. In the Yoruba, for instance, from the terrestrial area, if you go to the wetland area, we have made a mark also in the wetland area.
So you talk of challenges. What are some of the challenges then we only get for implementing projects and then at the different side that we just mentioned?
One challenge is continuity of projects and support, project support. You realize that very recently in our work in the Gola, for instance, one of the major donors, the USAID project, was cut off almost in the middle of the project. And to really stop a project in the middle of it, and communities and people that depend on it are not able to immediately find a way, they will go back to what they were doing in terms of destroying the forest. So we need continuity to stay with the communities. We need continuity to make sure that the ideas that we are giving the communities, they actually take it in and make sure that those resources continue to stay with them, because it benefits them in a way, but they need to really realize that and put systems in place that the forest can continue to stay with them.
So what's in some of the system they're waiting for put in place we're able to address that issue there?
One is their knowledge about how the forest can actually benefit them. The forest benefits them in many ways, but if they do not really have the knowledge, the ability to understand how this can impact them, if they destroy it, it will have a negative impact. If communities continue to destroy the forest, for instance, we are talking about climate change at this time. Those forests will continue to go, and these forests are the ones that are storing carbon in order to help our climate change mitigation system. And if they continue to cut it down and just destroy it, we are losing that service which the forest is providing. Communities need to know that. They need to know how it is also benefiting them in terms of their own livelihood. And they have to be part of it. They should have systems in place and support those systems to continue protection of the things that they rely on for their own very survival.
Okay, continue for the with me at the program. My name is Edward Momodu Sise. In at the head of programs na Conservation Society of Salone. As today they also for talk about the role of forest in climate change mitigation and self-look on the responsibility of government and community. The program now made sure they come to you live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Well, inside the program, we go look at another issue. The national coordinator for the All People's Congress Party lower level election, Aji Hassan Kamara, don't say, by the over 400 ward the way the party conduct lower level election, now about 8% they get for do election rerun. Haji Hassan Kamara talk this inside one interview with Radio Democracy, when they update the public but the party in action them after the lower level election across the country. In talk more about this to Jafferman Davis inside this interview.
Well, the elections, in my opinion, very, very successful, and we even get reports from observers them, credible observers them. We write reports say the elections are one pan the best, better than the last one them, we APC don't conduct. Obviously, we get isolated issues them, no election or the way perfect, but I will be bold enough and safe for say 90% of the elections were conducted in a free and credible manner.
Yes, so confirm for we, during this election, we see some videos on social media. Wanna encounter any aspect or any style of riot? If yes, who signed them present day?
Well, I know say riot, I understand say one side in a Falaba where I say them born one pan body. I think Nadina the only sign of we being violent to that extent. Everywhere else, then arguments, sonko go day, but ultimately the elections them proceed in a peaceful manner, and then we get results apart from the isolated one the one mentioned with about only 10% of the various wards them in the country.
Low talking percentage of all the wards they wanna do lower level election. How much percentage go rank say then complete successful one, and this one they will not complete successful one because of waiting the tension the way they did?
Yeah, like I say, now 446 wards we get right across the country. And out of them 446 wards, then I would say only less than 40 we believe say we know conduct in a manner we credible. So because of that, we say we don't pull a notice say we go rerun the elections then because some of them they will not be even start because of logistical difficulties them. So then the way we start, but we will not be able to finish either because we start late and place done dark. Now then villages then the neighbor continue. So some of them then they will rerun them. And others then they way now due to ala then take box carry and go to police station. So then they then tamper with the ballot papers. So credible anymore. Since we mandate for conduct credible elections, so we say don't take them upon we say we do rerun some of them their elections, and they win at just barely 8% of the total number of elections they will conduct.
Look at the side they will not get for do a rerun of the election there. The party gets the right support for make sure say because of logistics challenge where you talk about unblock the process of doing the run of the election and day?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean the biggest one we don't do so 446 wards simultaneously across the country. If we succeed in doing that, for do less than 40, definitely that will be easy for the party. I should say the party will be able to put modalities in place for make sure say that we do that swiftly.
Term don't come out for the election and day?
No, the term not come out because people away petition the hearing, then still they go on with the IECB when are the Independent Elections Complaints Board. So they wait, let them conclude, then do the ruling. So until other areas then they will then say go rule say for do rerun or not. So they wait with them rule, we get a list if any of the areas they will then say for do rerun, then we do all the reruns then on the same day.
Speaking of petition, the amount of petition, how much do you talk about?
In percentage wise, they're not big, but individually, you could see them like say them boku. But we remember 446 wards across the country, then you get maybe 50-60 petitions. That's like 10-15% petition. So overall, very, very successful elections.
So with this, plenty people get a perception because of video they already be done the apping. What are the message to member them? Particularly the party integrity, credibility on the election there?
I mean, message to members them for continue for be patient and follow the procedure. The party constitution get a body we then call Independent Elections Complaints Board. We are then responsible for looking to election complaints and petitions. So if you feel say something go wrong with the election we're not happy with, instead of you go begin the fight alala cause problem go affect the party, go petition. that body didn't get the power for cancel any election where they get evidence say malpractice been take place, and they can call for rerun where they go do them in a very open and transparent manner. So my advice to people, let we not do anything we go affect the party chances for win 2028, because all the election how they conduct, so people in they observe, PPRC they observe, the international community they observe. We need for sure to then group then they for say we ready for take up governance in 2028. But if we go conduct to lower level elections, then people in the go fet like say, we not credible. The people who they observe them will say, well, what's in the difference between we and the one that we did it? So we need for sure say we different. Anybody we aggrieved, let go petition, let go complain. The IECB go deal with them complaints and petitions them.
Well, that's not the national coordinator for the All People's Congress Party lower level election, Aji Hassan Kamara. But they talk in an interview with reporter Jaffa Mans Davis Hussain say, Pandi over 400 what the way the party conduct lower level election, about 8% then gets for do election rerun. The program now made a show they come to life from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM. And yourself can be part of the program by go send a comment or text message to the number 0779191, or self you go now already Democracy Facebook page. Well, inside the program now na time for make we take break.
If you never saw, tell me who's a way to go. We all don't know say we all turn up the past. Let we make come for the picking the wood the moment.
Say plenty thank you to K-Man for that song we do for winner the program Saloman. The program now made a show they come to you live from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM. And where they bring you this edition of the program made a show, my name is Karifa to Conte. Remember say yourself when they listen and watch you live on Facebook. You go be part of the program by go send a comment or text message to the number 077981981, or self you go on the Democracy Facebook page. I still get with me Edward Momodu Sise, and at the head of program Snack Conservation Society of Salone, as in there also for talk about the role of forest in climate change mitigation. So, Lord, look at waiting at how forests they contribute to climate change mitigation.
Okay, then trees here where you see growing, they get a great role to play actually where. The help way in terms of climate mitigation. Okay. Then trees and we will therefore understand say the many bad gases we they produce daily in our industries, in our homes, in our farm work, then gas will they release into the air. We're not good for us. Then trees and they take in that bad gas. Now they need, then they absorb them And when they absorb them, then they use them in their own system to produce for us the fruits and the things that we need from them trees. So now the way that way then they use, but also then as they clean the air from the bad gases who they release through the various work that they do for our own good. Industry, we get a lot of industries where they produce them bad gases, even in our homes, the things that we do. So then trees and then gas then they are being absorbed, and then gas and then they contribute to global warming.
Okay.
Global warming, they affect with our cultural production. They even inconvenience the way we live. Let's say you lay down even at night, the place is so hot that you are not able. And they even kill some people there in their own environment when the place is so hot.
Yeah.
You know, and they kill them. So they get a lot of inconvenience if that bad gas is really plenty in the atmosphere. But when they realize that the trees them bad gas and they need, so that they take in, absorb them, then they sink that bad gas into their own system for use them again for our own benefits. So if we don't cut down all them trees and we not get enough trees, then bad gas and they go continue for stay in the atmosphere. They form a blanket where the heat of the sun, when it comes down to earth, it not go able easily go back. We go stay with them. The heat continues to stay.
Okay.
So that they affect the crop, and they affect the way of life. They affect many things. Even the rains that fall, if the trees are not there, that rain, as soon as it falls on the ground, they run down to places where it will cause flooding. And the flooding, they also affect many communities. So trees and they play a very big role in terms of absorbing all of this for us. The trees can also be serve as windbreakers. When heavy wind blow, trees are there to protect or to stop the speed of that of the wind, and therefore it cannot affect us the way it should if there were no trees. You see.
So let's look at the connection between deforestation and rising temperature.
So deforestation and rising temperature, like I don't talk already. If you don't deforest a whole area, like say this way, western area, peninsula forest, we will get there. If you cut down all the trees and the first thing, the water safe way they get from that area, you not go get her again. Okay. If you get her, if rainfall, the dirty way they go into that water, it will be too much, and that will bring a lot of other sicknesses. You know, so the trees and deforestation, then trees and they help we, and that will make people that really understand. Then trees and they help we in terms of what we need to continue to survive. We depend on them for their survival. They stop global warming. Then they stop heavy breeze. Then they stop flooding when rain falls, because the trees go make them water where they fall on the ground, and they go run down the speed where it's supposed to run when there are no trees. So then they help you a lot. They go help for stop the bad things that will happen in many communities.
So how vulnerable Salone Forest is to climate change?
The rate at which we destroy with forests at this time. Let's just look at one area, for instance. This way, can't talk about western area. The rate at which we will destroy that forest. If we continue in that direction, we'll go lost water. We go continue for cry because we don't lost with various animal species and plant species that we will get only in this country. We go. There are trees species, there are animal species we not only in this region we will get. And if we destroy them, they are lost. We are losing them. We are also losing the services where those trees provide for us. You see? So the climate change, they come in because they will not go get the trees again for absorb, as I said, absorb the dangerous gases where we they release every day into the atmosphere. So this is not a very big, difficult and wrong scenario if we continue in that trajectory. So we need for change our attitude in terms of making sure that we use our forest resources in a more sustainable way so that they continue to protect us and provide the services we need and the benefits that we can get from those forests.
The issue of climate change now one way plenty organization and governments don't they look inside the past year them. So una na one pan the oldest organization and we know they work on environment. So what are the major drivers of deforestation at Salone?
The major drivers of deforestation are cutting down of the trees for charcoal burning, cutting down of the trees for farming, cutting down of the trees for logging. People are there cutting down in order to make money out of it. Yeah, and farming also. When you have a very lush forest area and you clear, they are doing it for farming purposes. We are also doing it for our own individual benefits, for us to gain money. Like logging can bring money, a lot of money. If you mining also, people are mining in areas that they are not supposed to do, and mining is an action where you really cut down and maybe dig into the soil, destroy the ecosystem so that those trees cannot easily come back. Remember, trees in an area take a very, very long time, over years, maybe sometimes trees that are really, really high, we cannot get them again in our own lifetime. By the time they grow again to that height, we are gone. So when we destroy, we are losing our lifetime support system.
Okay. So this again, wetin don't go wrong in this fight for say they able tap community people or individual we can go for cut stick, for burn charcoal, do timber and other thing them. Wetin don't go wrong in this fight for able for tap people and for cut stick then at the side the way would mention as reserve?
I feel say the right people to put in place actually than one of the things that we did affect we. There are many structures in place whose side will not get the right person where they think in terms of how to conserve this forest and resources to help the community to make sure that these resources continue to provide services for us individually and the country as a whole, because we are benefiting from those resources as a country, as individuals and as people. So if you don't get the right people in place, we get that mind and ability to help government to make sure that those systems are protected, we are being affected. At the same time, policies, policies are there. Sierra Leone will get a lot of policies, but the implementation of those policies now one big problem. Where would they actually talk about? The policies are there, very good policies and laws, but enforcement of those policies are very, very low, which affects the ecosystem, because people flout those policies and nothing happens to them. And also because if you go to communities, the communities will say this is what we rely on. Nothing we rely on for our own survival. What is the alternative sources of their own survival? We have to look at the justice in that area. What is the alternative measure that we can put in place so that then community, even if they don't cut the trees, then get some other thing where they will continue to do for their own survival. So these are three key things where I feel say they affect the people will put in place, where perhaps not get the heart and minds for do what in the law say they should do in protection. The policies that where they in place, where we not they able for implement or enforce, the enforcement structures, the material, the tools that the community need in order for actually enforce the laws. Monitoring system. Monitoring is very weak. We see every day around us how many people really, what kind of monitoring system that is in place. We will not get any data that can help us for say, now so it been there before, and this is how it is. So therefore, we were able to put measures in place to protect. Those measures, monitoring system, if they in place, then we were able to see what are the changes and what you for do in order to correct those changes. And that therefore be justified by correct data over time and to see how deforestation they go, for instance.
Okay. So, what are the practical steps where community therefore take for reduce deforestation?
Practical step, I think, is first of all the right mind.
Okay.
The right mind, the right understanding of how they relate to the forest resources.
Okay.
If people don't not understand how all these things can play, how forests they absorb the bad gases, how forests they continue to make sure that the things that where they depend on for their survival is provided by the forest. If they don't understand that and see that if I destroy this, hey, I they destroy my own survival, I they even destroy the survival of my children yet unborn, and therefore we need to continue to protect those things. That's what the community should put in place. How sustainable can I use the natural resources? And this is what we are actually working on as an organization or as institutions to make sure that communities then understand the kind relationship between themselves and the forest so that they go able to use them more sustainably. They're not going to just cut and fata. They're not going to just relate to them anyhow. They're going to put management systems, structures in place so that those resources are protected in a way for their continuity and survival.
Okay, continue for the with me at the program. My name is Edward Momodu Sise. In at the head of programs na Conservation Society of Salone. I've seen in there also for talk about the role of forest in climate change mitigation. The program now made a show it come to life from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM. Sorry, we're gonna look at another issue in the program. The National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network BAN, Abubakar Kamara, say the tax perception survey we BAN and partner then do go make them know about waiting taxpayer and feel about the different tax policy them we NIA and other body then implement. It talk this for sake of one thing we BAN and other body they all for this a bit of people about tax survey. We report today Amy Jackson gets more in gonna report.
Budget Advocacy Network, an organization wey for long term now, don dey work around budget and other financial issues there in the country. Outside they don dey draw government and other body their attention on things that we get for do with budget and financial transparency. And one way they don dey do this now through survey them. For sake of this make Budget Advocacy Network with support from the European Union don pull na do the nationwide 2026 taxpayer perception survey. Where this survey dey try for know about taxpayers' experience, perception of tax services and level of trust in tax administration where the National Revenue Authority they do. Where this survey go start March 2nd and go end March 31 this year, where it talk during the launching of the nationwide 2026 taxpayer perception survey. The National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network, Abubakar Kamara, talk more about the reason why they decide for do this survey.
We are here today for a very important process around our tax system in Sierra Leone because today mark a very great milestone as civil society are leading an independent survey in terms of soliciting the experience of taxpayers so that help inform the reform, it can help reform the operation of the tax administration, it can help in terms of bringing accountability, it can help in terms of making business more easier and fairly. This survey, which we call the tax perception survey, it is not about fault finding. It is not about evidence. Basically, we seek to understand taxpayer real experience on the ground.
Abubakar Kamara also talk about waiting the hope for achieve after we then go down do the survey.
So we want to seek the real experience of businesses, those that are paying taxes, so that it can help reform. One thing I also want to note is that the reason why we're also doing this tax perception survey is because we want to improve on voluntary payment. We want to improve on revenue generation. We want to improve on the fairness of the tax. But all this cannot happen if we do not have the information from the taxpayer to help all of these things happen. So BAN, we believe that when taxpayers are expected, informed, and treated fairly, voluntary compliance will increase and revenue mobilization become sustainable. So we look forward to working with you collaboratively. the data collectors to work with you to ensure that we have a tax system that is inclusive, that capture the needs and concerns, genuine concerns of the taxpayer, which the policymaker can then use to propose reforms or to propose operations.
The European Union office na Salone na one part the body them where they support the budget advocacy network for do this survey, we make the team lead for Limpopo Consortium, where they implement the state and resilient building contract at the European Union office na Salone. Maurice Ocheng talk about why they decide for support this project.
For us as Limpico and on behalf of the EU, we are happy to partner with the Budget Advocacy Network together with the National Revenue Authority in delivering this tax perception survey. National development, we need domestic revenue mobilization. And the institution that is charged with that responsibility is the National Revenue Authority. For particularly this particular initiative, it is important that NRA does not judge itself. NRA does not assume what the taxpayers thinking about them. And that is the reason it's important to have an independent entity, in this particular case, Budget Advocacy Network, to carry out this taxpayer perception survey. It is meant to improve taxpayer compliance with the tax administration regulation, compliance with the tax laws, and that way it will enhance revenue mobilization for national development in terms of growth of revenue.
The National Revenue Authority in a government body, we're responsible for implement tax reforms and except collects copper through tax for government. We make the Senior Director for Monitoring, Research and Planning at the National Revenue Authority, Dr. Philip Michael Cabo, talk about how the survey important to NRA the work.
This is a very important exercise for us at the National Revenue Authority. As Barbara has indicated, since 2019, that was the last taxpayer perception survey that we undertook. Well, again, as I say, not that NRA actually led it. Before then, it used to be undertaken by the National Revenue Authority. As a research department, we used to lead that. But then that requires that it should be done independently. You cannot assess yourself. Even though we are a research department, we are still part of the National Revenue Authority. So it therefore makes it a bit that you have to be assessing yourself. So therefore, the requirement of TADAT means taxpayer, that's a tax administration that knows the assessment tool. That's what they used to assess on standard based on best practice, how tax administrations perform. And so it requires that a third party conducts it. When as much as a third party collects data, we also as an institution, we have to provide the technical backstop. And that is why the NRA has also been part of this thing.
Dr. Philip Michael Cabo also talked about what they want to see after we the survey got done.
Now, this exercise is very important for us because taxpayer perception survey. With this exercise, that will help us to review the reforms we have been implementing over the past years. As Maurice indicated, it should have been done every 2 years as standard of target. But since 2019, I'm talking about 7 years, we have implemented several reforms in that. So all these reforms we've implemented over the past years, we need to understand whether in fact taxpayers appreciate these reforms, or whether these services are actually what the taxpayers need, or whether in fact we're actually doing what we're supposed to, whether compliance is something that's actually there. Because tax administration 3.0 requires you to actually plan with taxpayers. So all reforms I have to implement, there should be reforms that are actually needed by taxpayers. They should be demand driven. We don't want to introduce systems that are not friendly to tax. So that's why end of the day, this taxpayer perception survey should also help us now to review our reforms and then guide us in the next few years.
The Senior Director of Monitoring, Research and Planning at the National Revenue Authority, Dr. Philip Michael Cabo, and for assure the different partner them will be present at this meeting say NRA go ensure say they implement the team them. We go there inside the final report where ban go pull na door for the Society for Radio Democracy. Adeyemi Jackson, the report.
The program made sure they continue, and we still they look at the role of forest in climate change as we get Edward Momodu Sise at the head of programs na Conservation Society. Mr. Sise, another concern again at the area of wetland where people don't dey tap. How then they don't affect with community?
Fish production are one of the commodities that way this country depend on greatly. For internal, for where they support we internally, and even using it, then they use them externally also in order to gain money. But sustainable production of that particular commodity, and indeed many other commodities that we rely on for foreign exchange for our own use in the country, now a very big concern. The commodities and what would they produce? The fish, for instance, we depend on it for them to be there when fishermen then go and see they're able to harvest and bring more fish so that they will get money for serve the family and also make money from get foreign exchange from it. But would they deplete the very resources? Where would the areas and where would they get them fish from? The mangrove, for instance. The mangrove areas, now the area then down the way, the fish from the high sea, they come in and lay their eggs. And that eggs continue to stay there and hatch. The fingerlings will come from that, go, stay for some time, but then gradually then they go back to sea and grow big so that we'll continue to harvest. They're not they lay their egg immediately in the water. When we destroy those mangroves, would they lost the resources, would they lost fish, and therefore people, fishermen they now go to sea where they not they catch much fish because the mangrove areas they don't destroy them either because they want to then they cut them mangrove and they for drying their fish. Can we devise other ways for drying fish? Many other ways, and they will be able to do that. Then they also cut the mangrove in order to make boats. Then they cut mangroves for their homes as well. And even them mangrove trees, and then they grow to a high way, then they use them then they cut them down for building, for poles in terms of housing construction. So this is really, really very difficult, and it get great impact on fish production in the country. We're one big commodity we will rely on. The trees and once you cut them down, for the men that come back, even when we work with communities to replant, it will take a very long time to make the fish they come back to that area and continue to lay their eggs. So therefore we are crying. Oh, some areas fishermen we don't get fish a lot at some point, but we don't have them now. Then for ask questions about themselves. What thing they happen? They don't cut all the trees, the mangrove. They don't destroy the area so that them fish and they can lay their eggs. So that's one big thing we will really have to work on. And because we're not also able to do that fishing and provide right environment, clean environment for manage the fish that we have, we not get in the international market immediately because then they say areas that where they produce the fish is not hygienic. Some people then they use them, place them now for feces and many other debris, dirty area whose then they just dump every kind of things, and therefore internationally then people do not feel say the fish we would produce is very hygienic. So sustainable production of commodities like fish is very important. And now that we really get to put systems in place, laws in place, so that we're able to manage the system and that we self will get the fish enough as we want. We will also get that in a quantity that we'll be able to sell outside to the global market so that people can get money. If we don't do that, we are suffering.
So what's in the urgent action the way government need for take for CC able for prevent forest loss in the country?
Urgent action places then we don't deplete already. We need for actually make sure that we replant those trees. But also, very urgent as it is also the right monitoring system with people who get the forest at heart. We know about the benefits where communities and people and the country they get from those forest resources. Once we don't put those systems in place, then as a country, we will benefit a lot because people will now know, yes, this is the benefit, and therefore we have a system, we have a monitoring system, and the right people and policies are in place, enforced by government, enforced by communities, because they want to sustain their own survival and livelihood in those communities. These are the things that we need to do. Communities cannot be left out in this. Government has a very big role to play, as I said, in terms of the right people with the right mind and interest, the policies that we therefore really put in place and make sure that enforcement is there. The alternative measures because communities, you cannot just pull bread, pull bread and the people they more.
Yeah, not give them outside the people forget.
Yes. So alternative measures now for the think about. If we say we not for do this, there has to be something we will put in place so that the communities can survive without destruction of the forest resources.
Okay, so now in the California the studio, waiting to be message out there to people where they cut stick and do other bad thing them to the environment.
Well, I'll go give this message for say, if we want the chicken to lay the golden egg, you need for make sure that continue for lay the egg. You not for kill the chicken. If you kill the chicken, that chicken may never lay the egg. So then forests will provide services to us in terms of our own livelihood, in terms of reducing the climate change impact on us, in terms of the many dangerous or bad impacts we would get from cutting down the trees. We need to stop them, because if we not stop them, then bad images continue to exist in our community and will not go be good for us and for our survival in the future. We really, really need as a country to make sure that we understand this and we put measures and people in place and the right tools and support for government, functionaries, for local people to respect the laws and to be able to abide by it.
Okay, plenty thank you for joining at the program. And name na Edward Momodu Sise in a head of programs na Conservation Society of Salone. As today we dey also for talk about the role of forest in climate change mitigation. Well, I had this program made a show for today, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Go left you. Plenty thank you to the executive producer Michael Sambola and we producer Theodore Arena, and plenty thank you to Lucinda Williams for in technical support. Fatma Tasama will make watch you live on our Facebook page, and we'll present this edition of the program made a show. My name is Nakari Fatu Conte.